Officer Michael found 6 baby girls abandoned in a house of chaos, he was faced with a choice: walk away or become the father they so desperately needed. This is the story of how one man's courage and love overcame the odds to build a family. It was a cold November evening 20 years ago when Officer Michael Carter responded to what seemed like a routine welfare check in a struggling neighborhood. A neighbor had reported crying babies and suspected neglect in a rundown home. Michael, a young officer just a few years into his career, had seen his share of tough calls, but nothing could have prepared him for what awaited inside that house. The home was in disarray. Garbage was strewn about, the electricity had been cut off, and the smell of decay lingered in the air. Amid the chaos, Michael discovered 6 tiny malnourished baby girls. All under the age of 2, they were huddled together on a soiled blanket. Their mother was nowhere to be found. The sight of the wide-eyed, helpless infants broke his heart. Michael immediately called Child Protective Services, but as he waited for their arrival, he couldn't shake the feeling that these children deserved more than just a transfer to the system. He knew the odds they faced: 6 siblings, all girls and all black, adopted together? Was unlikely. A foster system stretched thin often separated siblings, and Michael couldn't stand the thought of these little ones being split apart after already being abandoned. In that moment he made a decision that would change all their lives forever. Adopting one child as a single man was difficult enough. Adopting 6 was almost unheard of. Michael faced enormous obstacles. The adoption process was grueling, with endless paperwork, background checks, and skepticism from authorities who questioned his ability to care for such a large family on a cop's salary. "Are you sure about this?" his colleagues asked repeatedly. "You're giving up your freedom, your life?" But Michael was resolute. He took on extra shifts and leaned on friends and the community for support. Despite the doubts of others, he believed in his heart that these girls were meant to be his daughters. For Michael, parenting wasn't just about providing food and shelter. He wanted the girls to feel loved, valued, and proud of who they were. As a white man raising black daughters, he sought to ensure they were connected to their heritage. He learned how to style their hair, attended community events, and read countless books about race, identity, and the unique challenges his daughters might face. Money was tight, but Michael ensured the girls never felt less than anyone else. He encouraged their talents, celebrated their differences, and emphasized the importance of education. Each night he reminded them, "You are loved. You are special. And together we can do anything." Please, if you enjoy tales like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more captivating stories. Hope you've done? Okay, let's continue. The road wasn't always smooth. The family faced criticism from outsiders who didn't understand their dynamic. Michael endured stares, whispered judgments, and even direct confrontations. "What's a single cop doing raising 6 black girls?" some would ask. But Michael never let the negativity affect his daughters. Instead, he used it as a teaching moment. "People will judge you by what they see," he told the girls, "but what matters most is who you are and how you treat others." The sisters too leaned on each other. Growing up in a racially mixed family came with its challenges, but their bond was unbreakable. They shared everything from hand-me-down clothes to whispered secrets late at night. Michael's love became the foundation of their confidence, and they thrived despite the odds. 20 years later, those 6 little girls blossomed into remarkable women, all driven by the values Michael instilled in them: kindness, resilience, and the power of giving back. Rachel, the eldest, was the first to graduate college. Her experience growing up in a non-traditional family inspired her to become a family lawyer, advocating for children in the foster care system. "I want to be the voice for kids like us," she often said. Sophia, deeply moved by the care and sacrifice her father showed, pursued medicine. She now runs a free clinic in their old neighborhood, serving families in need. "I see my dad in every parent who struggles to give their children a better life." Naomi, always the nurturer, became a teacher and now runs an after-school program for underserved children. She credits her passion for education to the countless nights Michael stayed up helping her with homework, even after long shifts. Chloe, the artist, channeled her family's story into her work. Her paintings celebrating love and diversity have been displayed in galleries across the country, and she often says, "Art was how I told the world about my dad's heart." Danielle, ever the entrepreneur, started a nonprofit that supports single fathers. She was inspired by watching Michael juggle work, parenting, and the challenges of raising 6 daughters. "People forget how much single dads sacrifice," she explains. Grace, the youngest, followed in Michael's footsteps and joined the police force. "I want to protect and serve just like Dad," she said proudly on the day she was sworn in. 4 years, Michael worked tirelessly, often skipping vacations, new clothes, and personal luxuries to ensure his daughters had what they needed. But his sacrifices never felt like a burden. They gave me a purpose, he often said. On his 60th birthday, the daughter surprised him with the ultimate gift. Over the years, they had pooled their resources to buy him a new home, a spacious house filled with memories and love. They decorated it with pictures from their childhood, including a framed photograph of the day they were all officially adopted. During the celebration, surrounded by family, friends, and colleagues, Michael's daughters stood up one by one to share how he had shaped their lives. Grace, speaking last, held back tears as she said, "Dad, you didn't just save us. You showed us what love really means. Everything we are, everything we've done is because of you." Overwhelmed, Michael could barely speak. "I adopted you," he finally said, his voice thick with emotion, "but you all gave me the greatest gift of all. You gave me a family." The family story gained national attention after one of the sisters shared it on social media. Their story touched millions, sparking conversations about adoption, race, and the meaning of family. Michael and his daughters were invited to speak on television shows, inspiring others to consider fostering or adopting. After their national story gained attention, the Carters became unofficial ambassadors for the power of love, diversity, and the potential within foster and adoptive families. Invitations poured in, from speaking engagements at schools and churches to appearances at nonprofit events advocating for adoption and racial equity. Michael, initially hesitant to step into the spotlight, soon realized the importance of their story. "If sharing what we've been through encourages just one person to adopt or fosters hope for struggling families, it's worth it," he said. As the years passed, the Carter family expanded in unexpected ways. Rachel, the eldest, found her calling as a family lawyer advocating for underprivileged children. Through her work, she met Jeremiah, a social worker equally passionate about helping kids. Their shared mission turned into love, and soon, Michael found himself walking Rachel down the aisle in a joyous ceremony filled with laughter and tears. Rachel and Jeremiah weren't alone in their mission to make a difference. Inspired by their father, the other sisters took on challenges that extended their family's impact. Sophia expanded her free clinic, establishing satellite locations in other underserved neighborhoods. Chloe used her art to fundraise for causes close to her heart, hosting auctions that brought people together from all walks of life. Please, if you enjoy tales like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more captivating stories. Naomi and Danielle teamed up to launch a mentorship program for foster children, combining Naomi's teaching expertise with Danielle's nonprofit skills. Together they created a space where children could find guidance, resources, and most importantly, hope. Anne Grace, following in Michael's footsteps as a police officer, started a community outreach initiative within her department. She worked to rebuild trust between law enforcement and local families, often speaking about how her father's example shaped her understanding of justice and compassion. Michael, now in his late 60s, found himself busier than ever, not as a cop but as a grandfather. Rachel and Jeremiah welcomed twins, the first of many grandchildren who filled the new family home with laughter and chaos. Each of the sisters soon followed, either adopting or having children, and Michael quickly became the adored patriarch of a sprawling, vibrant family. Papa Mike, as the grandchildren called him, relished every moment. Whether teaching them to ride bikes, reading bedtime stories, or cheering at their school events, he embraced his new role with the same love and devotion he had shown his daughters. In 2030, the family launched the Carter Family Foundation, aimed at providing support for single parents, foster families, and at-risk children. The foundation offered scholarships, housing assistance, and resources for families struggling to stay together. It also funded diversity training for adoptive parents and created grants for community initiatives. Each family member brought their unique talents to the foundation. Michael served as the honorary chairman, while his daughters ran the day-to-day operations. Together, they continued to inspire others, showing how one act of kindness could ripple outward and transform countless lives. Years later, the Carter family received an unexpected letter. It was from a woman named Angela, their birth mother. After years of battling addiction and homelessness, Angela had turned her life around and found the courage to reach out. She expressed deep regret for abandoning her daughters and immense gratitude for Michael's love and sacrifice. The sisters were torn but ultimately decided to meet Angela, with Michael's encouragement. "Everyone deserves a second chance," he told them, echoing the lesson he had lived by. The reunion was emotional and complex, but it brought a sense of healing and closure to the family's journey. Angela, now a mentor for women in recovery, became a part of the extended Carter family, attending holidays and birthdays. While their relationship would never be traditional, it was one of understanding and forgiveness. The Carters' influence spread far beyond their community. Michael and his daughters were invited to international conferences, where they shared their story of resilience and love. Their foundation expanded globally, partnering with organizations to improve foster care systems and promote racial equity in adoption practices. Chloe's art became iconic, with pieces featured in museums worldwide. One painting, titled Six Sisters, One Heart, depicted the bond of the Carter sisters and became the symbol of their foundation. Proceeds from her work funded adoption programs, giving countless children the chance to find their forever families. As Michael grew older, his daughters knew they couldn't hold on to him forever. But even in his twilight years, Michael's presence remained a source of strength for his family. On his 80th birthday, the family threw a celebration that brought together hundreds of people whose lives he had touched. Surrounded by his daughters, grandchildren, and a legacy that spanned generations, Michael gave his final public speech. "I never set out to be a hero," he said, his voice steady but emotional. "I just saw 6 little girls who needed love. They gave me a life I never dreamed of, and if I've done anything right, it's because of them." Michael passed away peacefully a few years later, leaving behind not just a family but a movement. His funeral was attended by thousands, including families who had been inspired by his story to adopt or foster. Each of his daughters spoke, their words a testament to the man who had given them everything. "He was our father," Grace said through tears. "But more than that, he was proof that love can change the world." The Carter family continues to carry Michael's legacy forward. The foundation thrives, and the sisters remain deeply connected, often gathering at the family home to reminisce and dream about the future. They know their father's love is the foundation upon which their lives were built. A reminder that even in the darkest moments, one person's light can illuminate the path for others. Their story, shared in books, films, and classrooms, remains a powerful example of the transformative power of love, resilience, and family. Please, if you enjoy tales like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more captivating